Hello, Florence, and welcome to everyone for today's Culture Vulture conversation.
Hi, Bettina.
So today we wanted to talk about another interesting topic, a question that probably everyone will say, obviously, answer with obviously. So the question is, does color still matter?
Yes, that's a very good question. And I think that this question is going to be answered differently here in Germany compared to England. So here in Germany, I would say, yes, of course, color still matters, either in school or at work or at, the daily things you do, going shopping or whatever. So color still matters. And I think in Germany, it's different because the history of Black people in Germany is not the same compared to England. I don't know what you say.
Absolutely. I think there might be a slight difference. However, because of the history, as you said, there are more Black people certainly in the UK. However, look at employment processes here in the country. Look at schools and results of pupils from minority groups. I think all those elements are still shown as people having a disadvantage when they come from a minority group. I would love to say it's different. However, I think it's still a big learning process that we have to go through.
I mean,
Yeah.
when I compare or when I think of the situation when I wanted to become a headmistress, and for the people who were involved in this process, it was a big question. This person would like to be the number one of a white German school. Yeah. So for them, it was something that in their reality can't happen or have never happened. Yeah.
And it did happen.
It did, yes, because I had a lady who was my boss at that time, yeah, and she said, "I would like to have you as the headmistress of a special school because you have the experience, you have the experience of leadership, you have the experience of like motivating people doing something, yeah. You know how to teach, you know how to tell people how to teach. So I would like to have you as the headmistress." But there were other people, and for them, it was nearly a no-go. Yeah. So you always need somebody who sees you and who thinks that you are possible.
And who sees you for the person you are. And
Yes.
not just for the ethnic group that you come from or
Yes.
for the skin color that you have.
Yes.
So how did that translate? How did you realize when people, because obviously I think they wouldn't have addressed you directly and said, because you are Black, you don't get that chance. Or
No.
you.
So at that time, no, they will never do that because, these people, they think they are good people, yeah, open-minded and so on. No, they will say, "Oh, I have lots of people who are interested in this position." Yeah. So I don't know whether you've got a chance or not. Or there was one person, he did the briefing in a negative way. Yeah, so he gave me information which was wrong. And I noticed that, of course, and I corrected it. Yeah. So they try to give you some, can I say, obstacles to, yeah, so that you get confused. Yeah. That's the goal. And there are other people, they won't say it's because you are Black, but they would say, "Oh, your qualifications do not meet this position," which is wrong. Yeah, I wanted to say another word, but I won't say that. Yeah, so it's wrong. So that's how it was done back in those years.
Do you think, or how have things changed in Germany since you started out? I mean, you have been in your position for quite a while. You have blazed the trail, so to speak, for other women, maybe not exactly in your position, but for other Black women, you're very supportive of the community, you're in contact with a lot of people, also doing your interviews and yeah, shedding a light on minorities and how people struggle
Mhm,
for
mhm.
being in that minority. But how has it changed in the last years? Has it?
Well, when I talk to people who either have bought my book or people who I interview, then they say, this so-called glass ceiling is still there. Yeah. I also thought things must have been changed after these years. I mean, I worked as, or started my job as a school headmistress. That was 2007, so nearly 20 years ago. Yeah,
Mhm.
but the people say this glass ceiling is still there. And there was one doctor, and he said he wanted to change his position to another better position, and then his supervisor said, well, you can be happy with what you have now. That's enough for you.
For someone like you,
For someone like you, right?
which
Yeah.
yeah, is
And this was
implied.
like 2 years, 3 years ago. So things have changed, but things are not better or already perfect.
Mhm.
Yeah.
When I researched a bit, I also thought I must come across, results that show that we are and we are going in the right direction. But
Hmm.
it seems so slow. It seems so slow. I mean, read about, diversity, inclusion activities and processes and initiatives. And
Hmm.
actually, when you look around, the world as it presents itself doesn't reflect that.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
sometimes I think it's still in an area where an organization wants to tick off a box and
Hmm.
they're not really living it. They're not eating, breathing, sleeping it and
Hmm.
incorporating the honest wish to change something because it's
Hmm.
still too difficult or people are still hesitating or pushing against or
Yeah. And it's still not in their mind. It's not in their picture. Yeah.
mm, mm,
So having someone who does not belong to the main picture or who doesn't fit into the main picture,
mhm,
then I often have the feeling that they still think for you, for someone like you, it's enough. Yeah.
mhm,
You've reached so many things, so now be happy and be modest.
mhm.
Yeah.
How can we support others who are in that position? Thinking of a young black woman, maybe like, yeah, upcoming in their career. What can we really do?
So what I personally do is when young people approach me and ask this question, what can I do? I would like to become a teacher, headmistress, or whatever, that I tell them my story and I try to empower the people with my story and to say, look for someone in your area
Mhm,
who supports you,
mhm,
either a black person or, I mean, sometimes in this or very often in this areas there are no black people, so look for someone white, yeah, who
mhm,
supports you, who is supportive and who is nice and who is positive. And there are these people, so it's not that you don't have these people. There are supportive people, white people, yeah, but you have to find them. And when you found these people, then talk to them, tell them what you would like to do, yeah,
mhm,
let them look at your qualifications and ask for help. So it's not something bad to ask for help
mhm.
and to ask for support.
Yeah,
Yeah. And
absolutely.
but also in telling them my story and opening my story, they say, well, oh wow, you managed this, and you also thought that asking for support is not nothing bad, so I will try it as well.
Mhm.
Yeah. And there are some organizations for supporting Black women,
Yeah.
and when they ask me to participate, I do that. And I try to support Black women. I would also support a Black boy or young
Yeah.
man, of
Yeah.
course. Yeah. So, or just young person. Yeah. That's for me, there's no difference.
Mhm.
But especially when an organization asks me, would you like to support young women of color? Then of course I do that, because I think I told you this when we spoke in our last sessions. The door I opened, I like to keep it open for others to also go through.
That's a lovely thought.
And this is something that Iman said, yeah, the wife of David Bowie. She said in her modeling business, she said, I opened lots of doors and I always made sure that I keep this door open for others. And in an interview, I heard her saying this and I thought, oh, yes, that's true. This is what I do in my area as well. Yeah.
Absolutely love that. And I think that's a very good thought to round today's conversation up. Thank you, as always, for your thoughts, your expertise, the contributions that you bring to the discussion, the things that you teach me. And yeah, looking forward to our next conversation.
Yes, and thank you for asking.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye-bye.